Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of Pammy Out Loud, a show that's about finding connections and building community through all sorts of things in my life and yours too. So, y'all, it has been a minute. It has been a minute since I have recorded, and y'all have probably been wondering what the heck has been going on. If you have been a listener, a previous listener, and you continued to tune in, you might have been a little confused as instead of hearing my voice, you were hearing other podcasts and you were wondering, did somebody get something mixed up? Where did Pammy go and what is happening? So let me just explain a few things and set the record straight for y'all. And then I'm going to share what's going to be coming this season. First of all, let me just say, I have learned that in the podcasting world, do you know what makes a season? Whatever you want it to be. For some shows, a season is a certain number of episodes. For others, it's the length of a particular story they may be telling. And for me, I just decided I needed to start fresh. I had a runway, if you want to speak, of starting up this show and figuring out my footing and finding my voice and trying to decide what direction I wanted to take this. So first of all, let me just explain what you may have been listening to and where did that come from. I am affiliated and produced by Shelly Media Company. This is two fabulous women, Jody and Shelly. That hence they are sisters that formed Shelly Media, and they are the producers of my podcast as well as probably a dozen others. I'm not sure of the exact count. Anyway, what they did was I needed a break, and what they started to do was run podcasts as well from the other people in our podcast family whenever mine dropped. So when you tuned in on a Monday morning expecting to hear Pammy Out Loud, you may have gotten to hear some conspiracy theories. You may have gotten to hear something about Dateable AF, which is a show about women dating women. You also could have maybe listened to Adjacent, which is Jody and Shelly's own show. There is a fabulous other podcast called The Ladies of Left Field about women talking about sports. So Shelly Media used the opportunity of us taking a break and the agreement of our other podcast hosts, I should say, to then come on and share other shows that you might be interested in listening to. We are so lucky to have such a breadth of talent and interesting women and men to share their take on what's going on. So I hope you were exposed to some new shows that you might enjoy listening to. And that's what I was, while they were doing that, I was living my big, beautiful life, as Shelly likes to say. Enjoying my new granddaughter, who is doing quite well after our little dicey 3-week start in NICU. We are pleased and proud to say she is thriving and her cheeks are filling out and she just is a precious little angel. So I've been busy doing a little Grammy duty and also playing in some Mahjong tournaments. We returned to Austin from Colorado Springs. We got back settled in. I have been doing quilting and machine embroidery retreats, which I will be talking about on this show. So it has been a wonderful, rich, fulfilling time. And also, I've been doing some reflection on what I enjoy most about this podcast and what I hope to share with you. For me, that has been, while I have enjoyed doing, I had this idea that I would do a lot of shows by myself. I have found that I really enjoy interviews with other people, and interviews, I should actually say more conversations that I've had with some of the people in my life that I've made connections with, who I think offer a breath of fresh air and inspiration to this discussions, the discussions that we're having. And I want to share more of those with you. So season 2 is going to be focused a lot on having my friends and connections come have conversations with me about the things that we're all interested in. So I wanted to share what you can expect to hear in this season. And we've already started doing the recordings already. So I'm very excited about what we have in store for you. Some of the topics you will have heard before, and some of them will be kind of new to you. So beginning, I've already recorded this morning, and back by popular demand, as I like to say, my very dear friend, Cass Grange. She is the financial advisor who came on and spoke with me about, we had the conversation regarding aging in place and things that you need to do as you age to prepare to have the most successful transition, everything from financial things to decluttering. And we are continue the conversation. This time the focus is on gifting. Should you gift money to your adult children? What are the pros and cons that need to be considered as you decide if you would like to share money with your children, and how is the best way to do that? We had a great conversation this morning. It will be dropping in the next couple of weeks. So tune in for more of Cass. She is just such a wealth of wisdom and her experience as a financial advisor. I always say she's part counselor, part financial advisor, just kind of the kick in the pants you need to look at things and the issues that come up as you ponder aging and the things that come up for people. Really, it's a topic that we all need to consider. And, we were talking this morning about how, it's interesting. I saw a funny Instagram reel, and it was a woman about my age, I would say, sitting in her car with her sunglasses on, listening to music. And it said, me realizing that women born in the 1990s are in their 30s now. And then it said ... same as me. With, I thought, yes, that's how, in our brains, in my brain, I feel like I'm a 30-year-old, 35-year-old, right? And we can keep thinking we have so much time to get things done. And really, we're going to feel less like doing them the older we get, particularly those tasks that aren't necessarily pleasurable, from decluttering an organization to how do we manage our finances and making some decisions about our long-term residences. So anyway, Cass and I will continue that conversation. I do want to throw out a special shout out to Cass and myself, because as of this week, in fact, today for me, October the 26th, 2025, which is when I'm recording this, I am celebrating 6 years alcohol-free, and Cass is as well. So neither one of us thought we were going to do it, and here we are living life big and bold 6 years later, and so grateful to be on this side of alcohol. So congratulations, Cass. And y'all look forward to listening to her share more of her insight and wisdom. Another interview that I'm having will be with my friend Brigitte Dow. She is a sober cis friend of mine, and she brings, we're going to have a conversation regarding the interplay of giving up alcohol and food addictions, and how sometimes that can rear its head again when you stop drinking. And some of the insights to be aware of on that one. So look forward to that. I will also, Mahjong is the thing these days. If you can see me, I'm wearing a dragon dress. I bought this at a Mahjong tournament, and I think I look pretty sharp in it. I'm just going to say I like it. It's a nice fall dress. It doesn't scream Mahjong. But anyway, Mahjong is hot right now, as y'all know. I am a passionate Mahjong player. I came to this game later. I mean, just in a couple of years ago. Really, I took it on, and it has become a passion and another addiction of mine. I love to teach it. I love to talk about it. One of the things you'll find if you don't play Mahjong, you won't quite experience this or understand it. But there is a huge ongoing discussion all the time about Mahjong rules. What are considered, a lot of times people use the word friendly rule. We play friendly versus we follow the strict rules. This is a great debate that you will see on message boards, and you will hear it discussed in groups. I'm not sure what it is about Mahjong that brings it out. The rules can be a little complex. But I say only this in terms of not really complex as much as they are kind of like peculiar situations that can arise. So that being said, I am super excited. I like to call myself a rule geek. I'm really into understanding the rules and why they are the way they are. I always tell people that I will play Mahjong by anybody's table rules, but I want to know what the official rules as stated by the National Mahjong League. And that's the people that set out the rules of the game. And so I'm always curious as to what the official ruling is. In fact, it comes up quite frequently. There is a huge, and when I say huge, I mean huge, message board, a Facebook group called Mahjong That's It. Mahjong That's It. The administrators of this group are two women, Johnny Levine, I think it's Levine, it might be Levine, but how you say her name, I'm not sure, and Jan Egri. This group was started, I'm not even sure when it was started, but it has over 141,000 people in the group. It has grown exponentially in the last few years, and it is a fascinating board filled with long-term players of 40 plus years to newbies to social players and tournament players. I mean, anybody with any affiliation with Mahjong shows up there, and you will frequently see rules bantered about and debated on Mahjong That's It, and people looking for clarification. I posted one just recently when I say just recently, just this morning, that has well over 55 comments and opinions on already. So it is a very interesting place to see this discussion form. Anyway, Jan Egri is one of the administrators of this booming message board, and I consider Jan to be a rule expert. I had the pleasure of meeting her in Georgia a year ago at a Mahjong event there, and we bonded and got into some interesting conversations, and I have asked her to be on the show. So I'm going to have an interview with Jan, and we're going to discuss some of the most common mistakes and most commonly asked questions and those really obscure rules that trip people up. Can you fill a whole hour with Mahjong rules and questions? You better believe it. And if you want to see what the excitement about Mahjong is, be sure to tune into that one. Another interview that I'm very excited about is a good friend of my son, Bobby, Eric McLaughlin. Eric is a humorist, slice of life millennial whose Instagram account has over 70,000 followers. His posts are short, little slice of life vignettes of what's going on in his world that just make you smile and laugh, whether you're a millennial or not. Some of them, okay, I'll admit, are a little over my baby boomer head, but he actually did a clip that was called The Curious Case of Bob's that went viral. And this particular one has had over nearly 300,000 hearts, likes on it, and has been shared thousands of times. And it is actually a clip about my son, Bobby, and what it's like to be the friend of a special needs kid. So I'm looking forward, kid, I should say kid, he is a young man, but it's very, it's funny, it's insightful. From my point of view, it's spot on and it's heartwarming. I'll be sure and share it so you can watch it too, of course. But what's interesting about it was when it first came out, my other son, not Bobby, but the other son was scared for me to see it because he thought it might hurt my feelings, which I thought was kind of interesting. So we'll have a conversation about that and also learn what Eric's goals are and some of the things that he's up to. So that should be a great interview. Another interview that I'm excited to have is with my therapist and also fellow Shelly Media podcaster, Dr. Sarah Kyle. Dr. Kyle is a therapist in private practice in Austin, Texas, and she and I are going to have a conversation about the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship. What makes that so dicey? Why is that frequently rift with missteps and landmines? And maybe what can we do to avoid some of those pitfalls? And why are those stereotypes of the overbearing mother-in-law, the disagreeable daughter-in-law, where do those come from? And how can we avoid being one of those mothers-in-law? So I'm looking forward to having that conversation with her. I also, y'all are going to be really excited about this one. I know I am. I'm going to host two of my bestest friends, Janet and Angie, and the topic is going to be Swiftie in your 60s. What is it like to be a Swiftie in your 60s? The three of us spent all of last year enjoying the Eras Tour, sharing videos. We all three came to becoming a Swiftie late in life, and we have really enjoyed sharing those clips with each other, talking about what Taylor Swift's music means to us at this point in our life. And I really look forward to hosting that and that conversation. So we don't have any plans to do any dance moves to Opalite or Ophelia, but you never know what might show up. So stay tuned for that interview. That should be a lot of fun. Okay, that's what's on deck. I also have a few other things that haven't booked the interviews yet, so I'm not going to quite share those, but we've got everything from some quilting and machine embroidery people to talk to. Potentially, I'm working on my friend who is a mahjong tile collector. He likes to remain cloaked in darkness. No, I don't mean that, but I have to convince him that he doesn't have to do video with me for him to speak, I think. But I'm hoping to have my good friend, I'm not even going to say his name in case he doesn't come on, but I'm hoping that will be in the near future as well. And then I'm going to tell you, intermixed with all of this, I am starting a new segment called 5 Favorite Things, my 5 favorite things. And this was an idea I had a long time ago, but, think of Oprah's favorite things or deals and steals on Good Morning America. But I am narrowing the focus, and my idea would be 5 favorite things for mahjong players, 5 favorite stocking stuffers for adult sons, 5 favorite tools for quilters. There will be a theme, And I will share some of my finds and favorites that I think nobody should be without. If you're into that particular, if you fit into that particular category. So those will be mixed in between the interviews. There is a lot lined up, and I'm glad you are here with me. If you are new to this show, welcome. This is a place about finding community and connections I'm calling it the last third of your life, maybe. That's what I'm going to call it. We're in the third period of the hockey game. That's where we are. And how, this is really, there's so many things that my friends and I talk about that are issues and that are important to us now that we didn't have time for or we didn't really care about before now. So if you have tuned in before, I'm glad you're back. If you're new to this show, please join us, and I hope you'll give us a few weeks listens. Thank you guys for bearing with me as I lived my big, beautiful life, and I look forward to many more conversations. We're also going to continue to talk about the decluttering. That pushed a lot of people's, but I don't want to say pushed a lot of people's buttons, but I got a lot of feedback. I got some DMs on that and emails. That is a really big topic that seems to have a lot of interest for people. So stay tuned for more conversation about decluttering. I'm hoping that I'll have an organizer on the show to talk about some of their favorite tips too. So if you have any questions, the ways you can reach out to me, comments, concerns, please email me at pammyoutloud@gmail.com. You can DM me on social media at the same Pammy Out Loud, and I look forward to a great season. Peace out, everybody. I love y'all. Bye-bye.